Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Gauranitai, Jai Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Shri Gauranitai ki Jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Granaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai, Nitai Shri Gaura Premanande. All glories to our assembled devotees. All glory to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Narayana Namaskritya Narachaiva Narotamam Devim Sarasvatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraya Nashtapraya Swabhadresu Nityam Bhagavatam Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamasloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this morning we are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 61, entitled Lord Balaram Slays Rukmi. And today we are treating text 19, 20, and 21. And 21 is on the board, so I will just go through the 19 and 20. The 19 says, Ete Samputra Putrascha Bahu Kutisho Nripaha Matara Krishna Jatinam Sahasrani Cha Shudasaha. Translation. My dear king, the sons and grandsons of Lord Krishna's children numbered in the tens of millions. 16,000 mothers gave rise to this dynasty. Text 20. Shri Rajo Vacha Katam Rukmi Ariputraya Prada Duhitaram Yudhi Krishnena Paributastam Hantum Radram Pariktikshate Etat Akyahi Me Vidvam Dvishur Vavai Hikam Mityaha. Translation. King Parishit said, how could Rukmi give his daughter to his enemy's son? After all, Rukmi had been defeated by Lord Krishna in battle and was waiting for an opportunity to kill him. Please explain this to me, O learned one, how these two inimical parties became united through marriage. And now the verse 21 is on the board. Anagatam atitam cha vata manam adindriyam viprakrishtam vyavahitam samyak pashanti yoginaha. Anagatam atitam cha varta manam atindriyam viprakrishtam vyavahitam samyak pashanti yoginaha. Anagatam atitam cha vata manam atindriyam viprakrishtam vyavahitam samyak pashanti yoginaha. Anagatam atitam cha vata manam atindriyam viprakrishtam vyavahitam samyak pashanti yoginam. Anagatam atitam cha Mataji. Word for word translation. Anagatam, not yet happened. Atitam, past. Cha, also. Varta manam, present. Atindriyam, beyond the purview of the senses. Viprakrishnam, distant. Vyavahitam, blocked by obstacles. Samyak, perfectly. Pashanti, see. Yoginaha, mystic yogis. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, the A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Mystic yogis can perfectly see that which has not yet happened, as well as things in the past or present, beyond the senses, remote or blocked by physical objects. Kindly repeat after me. Mystic yogis can perfectly see that which has not yet happened, as well as things in the past or present, beyond the senses, remote or blocked by physical obstacles. Srila Prabhupada's purport. Here King Parikshit encourages Shukadeva Goswami to explain why Rukmi gave his daughter to Lord Krishna's son Pradyumna. The king stresses that since great yogis like Shukadeva Goswami know everything, the sage must also know this. I shall explain it to the anxious king.
Hare Krishna. We are very honored and very happy that we have very special, wonderful devotee today to share Srimad Bhagavatam class today. His Grace Srivas Prabhu. Srivas Prabhu came in Krishna consciousness way back in 1981 in Africa, and then he came in touch with His Holiness Bhakti Swami Maharaj. He was deeply inspired by his wonderful example and preaching, and then he committed his life to assist in mission of Srila Prabhupada. And since 1981, more than 42 years, now he is dedicatedly serving in ISKCON. He is he has served as a temple president in many temples in Africa, Nigeria, and Ghana especially. He also has served as BBT manager and regional secretary. he has done many wonderful courses like Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Bible, and he also teaches those courses in Mayapur Institute as well as Vrindavan Institute of Higher Education. He is currently serving as a regional secretary for West Africa. He is also serving as GBC deputy. Also, he is a member of Sannyas Ministry, and he is also executive member of Sustainable Vaishnav Community Development, and he is zonal supervisor for West Africa, and also serving as a global duty officer. So, especially, we always feel extremely honored and inspired to get his association. I remember I was meeting some youths just few years, not many years back. They had a session of Srivas Prabhu, but till now they fondly remember him. So Srivas Prabhu is a really empowered preacher. He has a wealth of wisdom and he has so many wonderful experiences. And I see that whenever devotees hear, it has a great impact on their heart, and it's very difficult to forget. So we are so blessed that we have his wonderful association today. So let us welcome His Grace Srivas Prabhu by loudly chanting 3 times. Haribo, Haribo, Haribo. I gave introduction. There are many devotees online also, so they can also.
Hare Krishna. Omagyanatimaridasya Gyanam Gyanashalakaya Shakshuramalitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yukta Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahogana Ragunastam Vitam Tam Sanjivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahogana Lalita Sri Vishakam Vitam Scha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Tirtha Swami Iti Namini Namaste Krishna Padaya Prabhupada Asri Tatmani Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Bhakti Tirtha Namini Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami iti namini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini. Nirvese Sasuyavadi Pasachade Satarini. Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasandibhyaiva cha Patitanam Pavinibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namini Gauratize Namaha. Nityanando Vatutendo Ruvasuda Pranavalabhar Janavir Jivita Patil Krishna Prema Prabhu Padmavati Sutta Srimam Sachidananda Purvajaha Bhavum Mata Jagat Rakta Rakta Gora Kile Varaha Advaitam Harina Dvaita Racharyam Bhakti Shamshanat Bhaktavataram Itam Sham Advaita Acharya Shraye Panchatattvamakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Sarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakti Shaktikam Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopita Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Jayatam Suratu Pangomama Madirgatima Sarvaswa Padam Bhujo Radha Madana Mohano Divyadvindaranya Kalpadrumanda Srimad Ranadgara Simhastanastahu Srila Govinda Devo Prishnali Bisevya Manosmarami Shri Mamra Sarasarambi Vamsivata Tatastita Karsan Venu Swanai Gopi Gopinata Sri Estunaha Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Translation again. Mystic yogis can perfectly see that which has not yet happened, and as well as things in the past or present beyond the senses, remote or blocked by physical obstacles. Mukam karoti vachalam pangam lagayete grim yat kare patamahadvande Shri Guru Dina Taranam Paramanam Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram Akanda Mandalakaram Vyaptayina Chara Charam Tatpadam Dashitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Thank you very much, Acharya Prabhu, for your kind introduction, kind reception, kind association, and kind hospitality. We always feel very much welcomed, very much honored to visit your projects and to be of some assistance in inspiring your devotees, students, congregation, whatsoever. So thank you for your kind invitation. We are simply trying to serve the Vaishnavas. And the more we try to serve, the more Krishna facilitates that. The more we try to help others, the more Krishna empowers you to help others. So we are grateful for your kind reception. Before we proceed to to say something for our own purification and probably for the benefit of the audience. We seek the blessings of all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, both seen and unseen, so that we may execute this important duty of representing Srila Vyasadeva, the author of Srimad Bhagavatam. Just as Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami prays in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Drugame Patime Indasya Skalat Pada Gatir Muhur Swa Yasti Danena Santa Santu Avalambalam. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is praying that my path is very difficult. My feet are constantly slipping. And in addition to that, I am completely blind. I cannot see my front, neither can I see my back. In such a situation, it is only the mercy of the Vaishnavas in the form of the stick of their mercy. So without the support of the Vaishnavas, how can we progress on the path of bhakti? In fact, the whole process of Krishna consciousness is based on the mercy of the Vaishnavas. Without a touch of the Vaishnavas, there is no question of Krishna consciousness. Sadhu Sangha, Krishna Kripa, Bhakti Swabhava. Without the association of devotees, Sadhu Sangha, without the mercy of Krishna, Krishna Kripa, Bhakti Swabhava, without the very nature of bhakti, how can we become devotees? Not possible. So our Krishna consciousness actually depends on the mercy of the Vaishnavas. Before 1965, when Srila Prabhupada had not yet traveled to America, there were no Vaishnavas around the world. There were none. Except in India. But when Srila Prabhupada embarked on the journey to New York and spent a whole year struggling to establish this Krishna consciousness, soon after that, many, many Vaishnavas were created just by his association, by the singular effort of His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada. This great movement with millions of devotees, millions of practitioners, millions of membership, it has come about by Srila Prabhupada's association. By Srila Prabhupada giving his association to the young boys and girls in New York City. He changed them. He transformed them. And then they went out to other countries and transformed others. And that transformation is still going on. That is the beauty of this Krishna consciousness. So, our spiritual advancement, our progress in Krishna consciousness depends on the mercy of the Vaishnavas. It depends on the mercy of Krishna. It depends on the very nature of bhakti. So we should always be grateful for the association of devotees. Without gratitude, we cannot make progress. Only a grateful heart, he can make progress in Krishna consciousness. He can receive more mercy of Krishna. So I'm always grateful to Acharya Prabhu for always giving me the opportunity to associate with the devotees he's preaching to. They may think I am inspiring them, but actually you are inspiring me. I feel like that. When I see young people like you who have excelled in the academic world, equipped with such qualifications that can give you a better place in the material world, yet you give that up to take to the process of Krishna consciousness, it is very, very enlivening. It is very inspiring. So to be among such devotees is just wonderful. So thank you for giving me the association, giving me the opportunity to associate with such wonderful Vaishnavas. So the verses we are to discuss today says, my dear king, the sons and grandsons of Lord Krishna's children numbered in the tens of millions. 16,000 mothers gave rise to this dynasty. That's 1920 says, King Parikshit said, how could Rukmi give his daughter to his enemy's son? After all, Rukmi had been defeated by Lord Krishna in battle and was waiting for an opportunity to kill him. Please explain this to me, O learned one, how these two inimical parties became united through marriage. And then the last verse, verse 21 says, mystic yogis can perfectly see that which has not yet happened, as well as things in the past or present, beyond the senses, remote or blocked by physical obstacles. So Parikshit Maharaj has just heard how Rukmi gave his daughter in marriage to Pradyumna, the first son of Krishna with Rukmini. And not only that, he also gave his granddaughter, Rochana, to Aniruddha, the son of Pradyumna. So Parikshit Maharaj is bewildered. How is that possible? Knowing the enmity that existed between Krishna and Rukmi. So he's asking his spiritual master, Srila Sukadeva Goswami, to use his Trikalagya, the ability to see into the future, the ability to see past events, and the ability to see the present, to explain how that became possible that Rukmi gave his daughter and his granddaughter to the family of Krishna when Krishna was an avowed enemy of Rukmi. So We know the story. When Krishna was to marry Rukmini, there was a battle. Actually, Rukmini had arranged to marry Rukmini to Shishupal. Even though their father wanted to marry his daughter to Krishna. So Rukmini did not like the proposal of getting married to Shishupal. So he sent a letter with a Brahmana to Dwaraka to inform Krishna that, please, my dear Lord, come quickly and kidnap me because I don't want to be touched by the hands of Shishupal. So when Krishna received this message from Rukmini, immediately he ordered his charioteer, Daruka, to take him and the Brahmana to Vidarbha, the kingdom of Bhishmaka. And just on time, when Rukmini had gone to the temple of Durga to pray for her desire to be fulfilled of getting Krishna as her husband, and she was coming out of the temple at that time, Krishna was among the princes who had lined up to see the beauty of Rukmini. And as Rukmini just came out of the temple, Krishna kidnapped Rukmini, placed her on his chariot, and was on his way to Dwaraka. So, Jarasandha and many other kings who had come to witness the marriage of Rukmini with Shishupal, they attacked Krishna. Meanwhile, when Balaram learnt that Krishna had gone to Vidarbha, he knew there would be a battle. And so Lord Balaram organized a very powerful military phalanx to Vidarbha. So when Krishna kidnapped Rukmini, Jarasandha, Shishupal, and their friends, they attacked Krishna. But they were defeated. With Balaram, with his army, they defeated all the belligerent princes, and Krishna was in his way with Rukmini. And so Rukmini, he decided that he would not allow Krishna to take away his sister. That Krishna must be challenged. Krishna is a cowherd boy. Krishna cannot shoot arrows. Krishna is not a Kshatriya. They are Kshatriyas. Why should I allow a cowherd boy to come into their midst and take away the food of the lion? Actually, Rukmini was so offensive. He compared Krishna to a jackal. That a jackal has come to take the food of a lion, and that jackal should not be let to go. So he vowed that he is going to defeat Krishna and return his sister. So he armed himself, organized a big military, and went chasing after Krishna. While Balarama was handling the other military, other warriors, other Kshatriyas, Rukmini caught up with Krishna and repeated the same useless words to Krishna and started to fight with Krishna. Nobody can fight with Krishna. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nayakanam Radna Nayakanam Shiroratnam. Krishna Stus Bhagavan Swayam. All the qualities of the Supreme Personality are permanently present in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All the energies are present in Krishna. So who can defeat Krishna? Rukmi could not be defeated. Rukmi could not defeat Krishna. Krishna could not be defeated by Rukmi. In fact, it was Rukmi who was defeated. Krishna cut all his bowstrings, destroyed all his weapons, killed his horses, killed the charioteer, broke his chariot, and Rukmi was helpless. And Krishna captured him and wanted to kill him. But his dear wife Rukmini fell at the feet of Krishna and prayed for Krishna's mercy. And Krishna, feeling compassion for Rukmini, decided to spare the life of Rukmi. But then he decided to teach him a lesson. He took his sword and shaved his beard halfway, shaved his head halfway, gave him a very special haircut, disfigured him completely. And just at that time, Balaram arrived. And Balaram was very upset. He said, Krishna, how can you do this to our brother-in-law? You've married his sister. How can you do this to him? He chastised Krishna for doing that. Then he pacified Rukmini. Then he also talked to Rukmi. And then Balaram resolved the matter. But because Rukmi had bragged, he had boasted that he would not return to Vidarbha without killing Krishna, without returning his sister, he would not return. So when he was humiliated and given a special haircut, he could not return to Vidarbha. He remained in Bojakarta. He built a hut and stayed there. And that became his kingdom. So Parikshit Maharaj, he has had all these transactions between Krishna and Rukmi. And now Rukmi, the same Rukmi, is giving his daughter to Pradyumna in marriage. And not only that, he also gave his granddaughter, Rochana, to Aniruddha. So Parikshit Maharaj is asking Shukadeva Goswami, please tell me, how is that possible? So we know that Shukadeva Goswami was an empowered personality. Actually, he was empowered from within the heart. It is said that Krishna gives his mercy in three ways. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur describes Krishna's mercy in the Jivadam. He says, Krishna gives his mercy by means of Aloka Dana Kripa. Aloka Dana Kripa means Krishna presenting himself before the deity. Krishna manifesting himself before the devotee. Krishna manifests himself before the devotee. Krishna gives his darshan to the devotee. So that is one aspect of Krishna's mercy. Another form of mercy is Vachika Kripa. Vachika Kripa means Krishna's words. Krishna's mercy in the form of his words. When Krishna was to leave Vrindavan, when Akur came under the order of Kamsa to take Balaram and Krishna to Mathura, the gopis were very upset. The gopis were very disturbed. They blocked the road. They would not allow Akura to take his chariot out of Vrindavan with Krishna and Balaram. In fact, it is described in the Gaga Rishi that the gopis became violent and they were actually heckling Akura. They were pulling him. They want to drag him down from the chariot because they did not want him to take their beloved Krishna and Balaram out of Vrindavan. At that point, Krishna had to intervene. Krishna spoke to the gopis. Krishna said, my dear gopis, I have a very special mission. I have a very special business in Mathura. I have to go and execute it. So please allow Akura to drive the chariot out of Vrindavan. As soon as I get to Mathura and finish that business, I shall certainly return to Vrindavan. So when Krishna spoke like this, the gopis gave up their violence. The gopis gave up their obstruction to the path of Akura and allow Krishna, Balaram, in the chariot of Akura to go to Mathura. And those words, Vachika Kripa, the words, Krishna's mercy in the form of his words, kept the gopis alive. In fact, Krishna never returned. Krishna went to Mathura, then he went to Dwaraka. Before Dwaraka, he went to Ujjain with Balaram for spiritual education, seemingly. And then he came back, and then he went to Dwaraka, and he remained there as the king of Dwaraka. So Krishna didn't come back to Vrindavan as he promised. But those words of Krishna to the gopis, I shall certainly return. The gopis were hanging on those words, and they were remembering those words. And just by remembering those words, they remain alive. The third way Krishna gives his mercy is called Harda Kripa. Harda Kripa. Krishna enters the heart of the devotee, and Krishna empowers the devotee. Shukadeva Goswami was empowered by Krishna. Krishna entered the heart of Shukadeva Goswami and empowered him. So, once empowered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is nothing impossible to do. It is mentioned, Kim alabhyam Bhagavati, Prashane Sri Kritane, Tatapi Tat Pararajan, Nahi Vajanti Akinchana. That what is impossible, what is unattainable by those who have pleased the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nothing is impossible for those who have completely pleased the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Shukadeva Goswami spoke Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj and actually to the whole world. Shukadeva Goswami, he presented Srimad Bhagavatam to the whole world. Srimad Bhagavatam is the glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his devotees. So Shukadeva Goswami had pleased Krishna so much. So therefore, Krishna empowered him. In fact, it is mentioned that Shukadeva Goswami did not want to come out of his mother's womb. Some acharyas say he spent 16 years in his mother's womb. Some acharyas say he spent 20 years in his mother's womb. And he would not come out. Srila Vyasadeva did everything possible. He performed all the rituals, chanted all the mantras to bring his son out of his mother's womb. But Shukadeva Goswami refused to come out. Srila Vyasadeva had to journey all the way to Dwaraka to invite Krishna to come to summon Shukadeva Goswami out of his mother's womb. And Krishna came to Srila Vyasadeva's ashram and told Shukadeva Goswami, please come out of your mother's womb. And Shukadeva Goswami said, my dear Krishna, I don't want to come out. I am reluctant to come out because the whole world is so contaminated. I am feeling very safe in here. I don't want to be contaminated. So that is why I am staying in my mother's womb. And Krishna says, don't worry. You come out. If you come out and speak Srimad Bhagavatam, if you come out and continuously speak the glories, speak my glories, you will never be contaminated. You will never be touched by the contamination of this world. And when Shukadeva Goswami heard that authoritative statement from Krishna, he immediately came out of his mother's womb. And as soon as he came out of his mother's womb, he did not waste one moment. He renounced. He left for the forest. Srila Vyasadeva has to run after his son, crying out, my son, please come back. I have not performed the ritualistic ceremonies for your birth. Please come back. But it is said only the trees responded to his cries. Shukadeva was gone. So, Shukadeva Goswami is an empowered devotee. Krishna has already empowered him from within the womb of his mother. And so, once empowered, there is nothing impossible. Actually, in the 11th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna tells Uddhava that there are 18 mystical perfections. Out of these 18 mystical perfections, 8 are the primary mystical perfections. And these are present in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They are present in unlimited manner, unlimited extent, unlimited degrees. But the other 10 secondary mystic potencies, they originate from the most material nature, and anybody can develop them. And the first of these 10 secondary mystical potencies is Trikalagya, to be able to see past, present, and future. So, but in the discussion, Krishna says, my devotees don't endeavor separately for these mystical perfections. Just by rendering devotional service, they are given us as a gift, as a bonus mark. Just by performing devotional service, mystical perfections are given to the devotee as bonus. A devotee doesn't need to perform separate endeavors in order to develop the mystical perfections. Just by satisfying the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one is given these mystical potencies. So therefore, Shukadeva Goswami was already a mystic. By sitting in one place, Shukadeva Goswami narrated the happenings of not only this universe, but other things that are happening in other universes and happenings in the spiritual world. Can we say that Shukadeva Goswami was not a mystic? He was a great mystic that just by sitting in one place on the banks of the river Ganga, Shukadeva Goswami could see into the hellish planets. He could see into the heavenly planet. He could see into the spiritual world. He could see into other universes. And he delivered that message in the Srimad Bhagavatam. The Srimad Bhagavatam we have are the words of Shukadeva Goswami. And therefore, we can understand that he is a great mystic by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And therefore, he is in a position to tell Parikshit Maharaj how this union has come about. In the Krishna book, Srila Prabhupada explains that actually Rukmi gave his daughter to Pradyumna and his granddaughter to Aniruddha just to please his sister, Rukmini. Rukmi did not want to displease his sister. And therefore, whatever Rukmini wanted, Rukmi was ready to fulfill that desire. So it was not difficult for Shukadeva Goswami to understand that because of the blood relationship between Rukmi and Rukmini, whatever Rukmini desired, Rukmi was ready to fulfill. In fact, it is mentioned that during the marriage of Rochana to Aniruddha, something unpleasant happened. There was a king from Kalinga who was very demonic. And he knew that Krishna and Balaram were not very good at gambling. So he encouraged Rukmi to engage Balaram in gambling. And so, as Kshatriyas, if they are challenged to participate in gambling, just as we see in the case of the Pandavas, Yudhishthira Maharaj was not good at gambling, but when he was challenged by the Kauravas, he had to accept. And as a result, they lost their kingdom, they lost their wife, and they were exiled from Hastinapur. So similarly, Balaram was not very expert in gambling. Gambling is for sinful people. Therefore, Balaram was not interested. But when he was challenged by Rukmi, he accepted. And for a number of times, 3 times or 4 times, Balaram lost the game. And when Balaram lost the game, the king of Kalinga, because he's demoniac, he would laugh at Balaram. He would open his teeth and smile at Balaram losing. But finally, in the 4th game, Balaram won the gambling match. But Rukmi was very stubborn. He would not accept that Balaram had won. And even there was an aerial voice that announced that Balaram had won. But Rukmi would not listen to that prophecy. And that agitated Balaram so much that Balaram just picked up his club and smashed Rukmi. He killed him instantly. And when the king of Kalinga saw that his friend was dead, he wanted to run away. He knew he's the next. But Balaram did not spare him. Balaram just knocked off all his teeth from his mouth, because those were the teeth. He was looking at Balaram and smiling and laughing. So Balaram broke his teeth before he could escape with his life. So it's very interesting that the same Balaram who was chastising Krishna, when Krishna gave a special haircut to Rukmi, the same Balaram has now to come and kill Rukmi. So it's interesting. But these are some of the transcendental activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, Parikshit Maharaj is quite curious to understand why Rukmi, knowing that Krishna is his enemy, still gave his daughter and his granddaughter to the family of Krishna. And so he wanted his spiritual master, Srila Shukadeva Goswami, to explain why that happened. Hare Krishna. I've gone beyond the time. So, if there are any comments or questions, you're welcome.
Anybody has any questions? They can. Yes, Rajgopal.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for such a beautiful class. I just had the question that this Rukmi was so loving his sister that he was ready to give his daughter, even the granddaughter, in marriage to Krishna, Krishna's son and Krishna's grandson. But Rukmi was not so much appreciative about Krishna and Balram. But he was very much loving his sister. Rukmini happens to be Krishna Shakti. And when we say Krishna, it includes Krishna, his expansion, his incarnation, his Shakti, and devotees. Rukmi was loving his sister so much. Then how is that he got such a reaction? I mean, the way Balramji killed him off. How to understand it?
Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah.
Just in addition to the same question,
Yeah.
it's started by Ram Navami, and we saw about Guha.
Wow.
So Guha was very much concerned about safety of Lord Ramchandra, but he was suspicious about Lakshmana because he was thinking that the way Bharata, because of Bharata, Rama has been sent away. He may also, so out of his extreme love for Lord Ramchandra, he was little, but that was appreciated because his affection for Lord Rama was so much. And here we find Rukmi, his appreciation for Rukmini is so much, but the way he got reaction is something we need to understand.
Well, my understanding is that Rukmi was demonic. Because he's so demonic, he never appreciated Krishna and never appreciated Balaram. And that is the result of that lack of appreciation. Even though he gave his daughter and granddaughter to Krishna's son and Krishna's grandson, he did that based on his relationship with Rukmini, based on the affection he has for his sister. He did that. He really wanted to please his sister at all costs, but not Krishna and Balaram. And that is why Balaram became very angry and smashed him to death. Because when he was winning, he was happy. But when Balaram won, he objected. And even when there was this aerial voice, mystical voice, announcing that Balaram is a winner of this game, Rukmi was reluctant to accept. And he began to speak against Balaram. And so Balaram decided that this demonic nature of Rukmi must be brought to an end. So by nature, he's demonic. And because of that demonic nature, that was why he wanted to arrange for Rukmini to be married to Shishupal. He said, show me your friend, and I tell you your character. He was arranging for Rukmini to be married to Shishupal. So you can see his caliber of life is that of Shishupal. And you know Shishupal was Krishna's avowed enemy. He never wanted to see Krishna. He will always speak ill about Krishna like that. So he only acted to give his daughter and granddaughter because he wanted to please his sister. But he never did for the pleasure of Krishna or the pleasure of Balaram. He remained sinful, he remained demonic, he remained antagonistic toward the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And therefore, the only way to save him was to kill him. Actually, we know that when Krishna or Balaram kills a living entity, he delivers him. So that so-called killing was actually Balaram's mercy. Balaram wanted to save Rukmi, so he killed him. Now, in the case of Guha, wanting to protect Ram and suspicious of Lakshman, that is also there. He did not understand the depth of Lakshman's love for Ram. He did not understand that. He did not know that Lakshman was completely devoted to Ram. And whatever Ram wanted Lakshman to do, he was ready to sacrifice his life for that. He did not understand that. And so he was thinking, just as Bharat was, the plan was for Bharat to become the king of Ayodhya. He was thinking maybe Lakshman is just following Ram to look for an opportunity to kill him somewhere and then go back and inherit the kingdom. So he was suspicious of Lakshman. But Lakshman, even Bharat, they were all very, very affectionate towards Ram. Lakshman, Bharat, Satrughna, they are all expansions. They are the Chaturvyuha expansions of the Lord. Now Ram is Vasudev, Lakshman is Pradyumna, or Sankarshan, Bharat is Pradyumna, and Satrughna is Aniruddha. So the Chaturvyuha expansions, they are the four of them. And so they have such intimate relationship, such affection toward each other. But for outsiders, even like 𝐂𝐻𝐌𝐍, the mother of Bharat, she could not understand that intimacy between Bharat and Ram. And that is why she made that attempt to usurp Ram's position and put her son on the throne. So the same way Guha was thinking that Lakshman is just following Lord Ram so that he can undo him, kill him, do something harmful to him, and then go back and inherit the kingdom. So he was suspicious of him. Thank you very much. Grand Srimad Bhagavatam. What did I say? Yes. We are here.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, you told that we can make advancement on the path of bhakti. Our spiritual advancement depends on the mercy of Vaishnavas.
Yeah.
And we should be grateful to the association of devotees.
Yep.
So while living in the company of devotees, generally we hear that we should always serve devotees and we should always please devotees. But somehow, due to the effect of this age and due to anarthas present in our heart, we many times displease devotees and we hurt devotees because of our neophyte nature. So what steps we can take so that we please devotees, serve devotees, and we can rectify these problems?
Thank you, Prabhu. Serving devotees, pleasing devotees should be our life. Because Krishna Krishna is controlled by his devotees. Aham bhakta paradino, Krishna says. I am controlled by my devotees. So the secret of pleasing Krishna is to please his devotees. This should be at the back of our minds. We should always remember that if I want to please Krishna, then I must first of all please his devotees. If we have this mindset, then we would always endeavor to please devotees. And if somehow or the other we commit some offense, if somehow or the other we displease the devotees, we should not waste time in approaching such devotees and apologizing. It is as neophytes, as sadhakas, sometimes we may do things to the displeasure of the devotees. As soon as we notice that, we should immediately apologize, approach the devotees and apologize and beg for forgiveness. So, but the principle should be, if I want to make progress in Krishna consciousness, if I want to please Krishna, then I must please his devotees. And so if you have this as your mindset, then every effort will be to please the devotees. Every attempt will be to please the devotees. And if you have such thinking, you are always meditating on such, there is no question of offending the devotees or displeasing the devotees, because your mood is always to please the devotees. Of course, if we follow the instruction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Trinarapi Sunichena Taro Api Sahisnuna, Amanena Manandena Kirtanaya Sadahari, always remaining humble, always remaining tolerant, always never expecting any honor from anyone, and always be ready to offer respect to everyone, there is no question of offending devotees. And that will qualify us for chanting the holy names constantly. In order to chant the holy names constantly, we must cultivate these qualities of humility, of tolerance, of offering respect to everybody without expecting any respect from anyone. And we can just remember the instructions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and try to follow them, then we can escape this attitude of committing offenses towards the devotees. Hare Krishna. Any other comment? It's raining.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for your wonderful class and beautiful, wonderful association. I had one question that, as he was asking, serving devotees, we should try to love and serve, knowing well that this is the way to please Krishna, and we have to be humble and tolerant. However, sometimes our ability to tolerate and these things are limited. We have some impurity, and sometimes we may feel difficulty. And sometimes some devotees, uh, they may not have intention, but sometimes dealing may be difficult, and one may feel difficulty in, so one may think that better avoid. So how to deal in situation where it's becoming difficult for us to tolerate, at the same time we don't want to offend, at the same time maybe other devotees are also little difficult to deal and all these things. So in such situation, what should devotees do?
Yes, It is said that whatever is difficult can be achieved by remembering Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Kantanchana smriti yasmin duskaram sukaram bhavat. Vishmrite viparyatam syat Sri Chaitanyam namamitam. That whatever is very difficult to execute becomes very easy if somehow or the other we can remember Lord Chaitanya. And whatever is very easy to execute, if we forget Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it becomes very difficult to execute. So in every circumstance, we should simply remember Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and pray for his mercy. Whatever challenges, whatever difficulties we experience in the association of devotees, we should simply pray to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for his mercy. And by such prayer, Mahaprabhu will help us to deal with the difficulties in relating to devotees. In fact, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned from Gaya, when he met his spiritual master Ishwarapuri and took Diksha from him, he became a transformed personality. Before then, he was Nimai Pandit. He was a proud Nimai, scholarly Nimai who would challenge everybody, defeat everybody. But when Nimai came back from Gaya, he became a transformed person. And he was always eager to render service to the Vaishnavas. If he saw somebody carrying some load, Mahaprabhu would run to the person and take the load from him. Mahaprabhu was always eager to do some service. So if we just remember Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, if we just pray to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, please help me to overcome this difficulty, this challenge. Lord Chaitanya is here. Lord Nityananda is here. If we pray to them, they will help us. Of course, there are also some devotees who are just difficult by nature. Despite every attempt to serve them, to relate to them, by their nature, they are also very difficult. If we have such characters, the best solution is to avoid them as much as possible. That is also there. If by interacting with a particular devotee, you are going to commit offenses, by interacting with a particular devotee, you are going to be offensive, better you keep a distance so that you do not commit offenses. You do not displease such devotees. That is also there. But the solution is we should keep praying to Gaura Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to help us to be able to deal with all kinds of characters. And if they grant us that wish, if they bless us with that ability, then we can deal with any type of Vaishnava, irrespective of their character. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
His Grace Srivas
Srila
Prabhu.
Prabhupada ki jai.
His Grace Srivas Prabhu ki jai. And we request you, Prabhuji, we'll be honored to get your association.
I don't associate with the devotees like Acharyatna Prabhu. I'm not complete. So long as we come to Kolkata, so long as we have to go to Mayapur, we must always come and associate with the devotees here in Newtown. In fact, our prayer is this wonderful project for the glorification of Srila Prabhupada should manifest very quickly to attract the whole world here. I do japa yesterday and today on the land. And my whole prayer is, Krishna, please bless these devotees. Make this project happen in the shortest possible time. Such a nice association. Prabhu's mood is to serve devotees. Since I know him, he is always in that mood to serve the Vaishnavas. And he imparts the same mood So all the devotees he's training. So that is your great fortune, to have such a wonderful leader. You should learn from him how to serve the Vaishnavas. That is our actual perfection. If we are able to serve the devotees, perfection will come without an effort. And that is the personification we can find in Acharya Prabhu, always eager to serve. Thank you. We shall certainly come back again to get your association in this wonderful community. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
His Grace Srivas Prabhu ki jai.